to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a hearing regarding a petition warrant article. This is per law, we need to have this meeting to invite people to talk about it. It's not something the board's gonna really invest much time in, but let me put it up on the screen. Find where it was. It's on the screen. Look it up and there's lots of comments about it. So I'll go to the website to get it.
So while she's pulling that up, this is found on the website. You can go to SAU47.org. Then go to Departments, Business, and it will be budget information. Under budget information for this year, the 26-27 year will be the top one that you would choose. There are, a variety of documents, all of those documents that are budget artifacts, but one of them says Jaffrey and one of them says RING, sample ballots. So this is from the RING sample ballot. So even though this is not being talked about, if you were to look at this, you would be able to see, all right, this is for school moderator, Robert Shaman. He's the only one running. There is a contested race in RING between Angela Johnson and Jared Rainey. And then the Jaffrey and RING sample ballots are identical after that.
Shall I read the petition article?
Sure. Yep. Article 8 by petition.
Okay. It's interesting because on the website is the original in a different spot.
Oh, I can read it if you want me to.
Yeah, I can read it. I'll just do the number.
Okay.
Article 8 by petition, shall we adopt the provisions of RSA 32:5-E and implement a budget cap whereby the school board or budget committee shall not submit a recommended budget that is higher than $100,000 per pupil cost times the average daily membership and residence of the school district as of October 1st of the year immediately preceding the proposed budget year, plus an annual increase for inflation using CPI-U for the Boston-Cambridge-Newton, MASH.New Hampshire area published by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics as of October 1st. Requires a 3/5 majority of the school district. Ruben, I want to send the link to that page. Where I got that was from the budget documents fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I send that to get that corrected?
You can send it to Carrie.
Okay.
Will be fine. And
All right, because we shouldn't have that.
the original document that needed to be signed, I think, with all your signatures, that's probably what that is. That has to remain on there. So that's why the updated one is on the sample ballots, which is above it.
All right, we're open to conversation.
So just for, this was a petition warrant article. It wasn't something that the school district put together. It was changed at deliberative session. The original number was 24,000, not 100,000. That was changed. That's, otherwise it stayed the same.
I think people should vote no on this.
I was at the deliberative.
Mhm.
I've never seen such a disgusting meeting in my life. Never in my life have I seen such a one-sided deliberative. Never.
Can you have your name and the
Andy
location?
DePerry,
Yep.
Ringe. You had a lot to say about people that were against this. But you didn't have a thing to say about people that were in favor of it, along with the budget, along with all the spending. You people are out of control with your spending. There's no way 1,000 kids should cost us $34 million. I get the fixed cost, I get it. But you know what? All the stipends, all the other nonsense that you are all pulling, it's time to stop. This is a prime example of the stupidity. You people didn't even have the nerve to stand up and say, this is ridiculous. Granted, the 24 grand was ridiculous also. There's got to be a real cost associated to educating kids. And what I'm seeing coming out of this school district is shocking for the money that we're paying. I'm watching a kid at Market Basket had some groceries for $4.05. I gave him $5.05. Couldn't even figure out to give me $1.
It's a public hearing.
Yes, well,
Okay.
Your indoctrination program, it ain't cutting it. And your proficiency scores are proving it. When you've got proficiency at 20 to 40%, you've got a declining student population, and you know it. You had the principal from, I think it was Conan, that got up and how proud he was that his proficiency went from 16% to 24%. I get you have gifted kids, and I'll bet you do a spreadsheet and you look at the kids that excel, they're going to be associated to certain teachers because they know how to reach the kids. The rest of them, we don't need gender-neutral bathrooms.
Do we have to keep this in?
I think we would like, I personally would like to hear the whole thing. Yeah,
But this is about the budget cap.
yeah, well,
You're,
nobody wanted to talk to that. I would like to give this time if the board is amenable.
what you people have done is, it's disgusting. You think an 11-year-old girl is going to feel comfortable in a bathroom with a guy?
I can't. We do not have gender-neutral bathrooms.
You don't what you're talking about.
No, we're not. It's
You are.
ridiculous.
Where are you getting this?
I don't believe you. You know what?
Why have you proved that this is a plan that we
Where-
have?
Where
I don't
is your
believe you.
evidence?
Well, that's your problem.
Well, it's not a problem.
It's your problem.
It's not a problem.
All right, then.
Sir,
go ahead,
where
'cause I'm-
where is your
I'm-
evidence?
I mean, there are things you said which are absolutely true, and I absolutely agree with you.
The-
But there are other things that you're saying that are not the truth.
The evidence-
You should be looking for the truth.
The evidence is when you made your remarks, I think it was you that made the remarks, of how great the bathrooms in Keene were.
No, that wasn't me. That was a member of the public saying that the bathrooms in Keene are great. I've seen them myself. They are, they're beautiful. They are not gender neutral. There's nothing gender neutral in them. That is a
Not just-
false
You-
thing.
The majority of the people in this town don't even go there.
I would be happy if you would like to schedule a time to tour any of the buildings. I'd be happy to take you around, or if you prefer a different individual to take you around, that's perfectly fine too, to see how the day operates, what goes on in our school, the climate of our school, or culture of our school, and also the bathrooms themselves. That would be
Ruben,
fun.
I already see the culture because I see these kids every day where I work, and I'm retired.
Mhm.
So I work a couple of days someplace, and I see these kids come in, they can't add, they can barely speak. I'd hate to have them read a novel. I'll bet they can. You're not doing these kids any justice, and it proves it right there. $100,000 per student. That's how dumb you people are.
They didn't do that.
I know but they allowed it to happen. You couldn't have stood up and said, no, this is ridiculous.
It's at the deliberative session, it is up to
Up to
the
the
public,
voters.
and this is a petition
Yes.
article.
The
So
moderator controls that.
The moderator controls it.
And
So
obvious-
everything on here is something that, that's the people's meeting, right? It's not our meeting, the moderator controls it. We make our recommendations, but at that point, we hand it over to the voting body to make decisions. And that was the decision,
No,
right or-
I get it, but
Right or
I-
wrong, whatever happens at that deliberative session
It was a
is what
mess.
goes on the ballot.
You could see it was slanted. You could see it. It was, Ray Charles could see it.
So I am confused on something. So, were you at last year's deliberative?
No, this year, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, at some point, I just would like you to be educated, because.
I am, believe me. Oh, yeah, I am.
No, I think
listened
that
to
you're
that whole mess.
opinionated, but there is a difference. And I think that if you actually listened to what the board has been saying all year, if you watched last year's deliberative, which was truly as vile, and absolutely people came out in force in the opposite direction, we are a very polarized community. There is no getting around that.
Maybe it's time
But
to.
I really wish that you would be educated, because if you truly
Don't
believe
tell
that
me
our
I'm not
issue is
educated.
that our
Don't
bathrooms
tell me
are gonna
I'm-
be
don't tell me I'm
non-gendered,
not educated.
there's a lot missing. There's a lot that's missing. And I
You know what?
do
There-
hope that
There
you
comes a point in
watch
time
it.
when you gotta put a stop to you people, because you're out of control. You aren't. You aren't.
What's out of control is the polarization.
No, what's out of control is you people polarizing everybody with stuff like this, allowing
We
the
had-
moderator.
Thank you.
We had nothing to do. Do you see
The
that?
moderator,
Both articles were by petition, and we handed over to the voting body to,
and the moderator, as slanted as he was,
he is
couldn't,
also elected by the people. He has nothing to do with the board.
he couldn't say this is out of control. This is This is a ridiculous number.
He could not.
Go back and
That was not his job.
rethink what you're.
It wasn't our job, not his job. That was the petition. That was the people.
That's the easy way out, I guess. It's not my job.
It's the
No, it's the
legal
truth.
way
Well,
out.
You
It's
need
simply
to
legal.
review the RSA's, the
Yeah.
laws, with the legislature, and the rules that are provided relative to deliberative session. Who runs the session, who's responsible for what, and who has the authority to do what, okay? So, this here was by petition, as Chris said, which means it was brought by a member of the public
Yep.
who had to get 35 signatures on the petition and get it authorized, all right?
Yep.
And then it goes to deliberative session, and it can be amended, just like any other article.
And it was.
And that is up to the legislative body, which is the people, as to whether that's done or not. It's not up to the school board, and it's not up to the moderator. So this is the result of what the legislative body wanted to do.
One
The
thing,
legislative body, by the way, is you.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting out there in the audience.
I voted against it, believe me.
Okay, so.
And I voted against your budget, and I will be voting against it.
That is
Come next
absolutely
month.
your prerogative.
That's okay.
I hope that you have a few weeks. I really hope that you listen to some of the other board meetings, that you look very carefully at where the money is going, because it's all on the website.
If you want to complain about something, I'm going to get in a soapbox now, all right? If you want to complain about something, you should look and see where the money, the increased taxes, what's causing the increased taxes, all right? Is it increased expenditures on our part? Or is it lack of funding from the state's part that
I get the state.
they'd cut us almost $1 million, all
So
right?
you raise it 3?
No, we didn't
No,
raise it
we didn't do
3.
that. What are you
We
talking
did
about?
not raise it 3.
What was your budget last year, 30 million?
39.
So you need you want to raise it 3 million this year?
That was not a proposed budget last
No.
year.
No.
Our
No,
proposed
'cause
budget
we-
was
we
more
amended
than
it.
what this is.
And if it was up to me, I wouldn't have even gave you that.
I-
You would have got less. And then you could stop giving everybody these stipends along with changing their name so that you can kind of hide how you're distributing that stipend money.
Can you explain what you're saying?
Yeah, I
That
don't
seems
So
like a...
Jane J. Jones. You write it in that way. And I've got people that have seen it.
I would, this
Yeah,
is a
it-
claim of fraud that you're making against the school board, and I would like to see proof of that.
Yeah, we need
Okay.
evidence.
And please present it, because if that is actually happening, we would like to stop it. So please present that to
All right.
us.
Sir, would you like to say anything and put, we're kind of open for comment right now, and then the hearing is pretty much, we're,
I'd just like to say where I was at that last meeting.
and can we have your name?
I'm sorry?
Could we have your name for
Pete
the?
Worthley. But I just, you could see right away where the vote was going on. Just from the air, people speaking, what they were doing, what they were talking. Let people get up, say what they wanted. I don't believe any student should have been able to get up and speak anything. They're not taxpayers. That's wrong. They were using them as pawns, if you ask me, for their own little personal, getting the vote across. I mean, they're students, that's fine, they're great, we're educating. But they're not here, they're not the ones paying the taxes. So, to me, I don't believe they should have been able to speak at all.
That's something to take up with the moderator. We had no
Yeah, well-
control over what the moderator was deciding to do.
That's where it comes into, you're using these kids as their, this is, hey, this is to help us. And that's what I saw. I also see, my other opinion is, if you're a property tax payer, yes, you can vote. If you're not, you shouldn't be able to vote. Those are the people that are paying. That's my other opinion too. And that's what I strongly believe in that. And this other issue of bringing on an assistant superintendent. To me, we're paying this individual $200-something thousand a year, and he needs an assistant. Maybe we should get rid of him and just hire an assistant. I mean, I don't believe in that. That's crazy. That is outrageous to have to pay that kind of money, what, $180,000, $190,000?
Be over 400 grand for 2 people.
For 2 people? Apparently, he's not doing his job. If he needs an assistant and he needs help, I don't care how well you're doing your job, and I understand, it's probably not an easy job. But I mean, the governor doesn't make that kind of money, but yet we're paying the superintendent, and then he needs an assistant to help him. Maybe he should pay him out of his own pocket. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, let me speak to that one first.
Go ahead.
If you go back historically, so the superintendent's been with us for 11 years, and prior to that, we had many, many more admin on hand.
Mhm.
But we have cut so many administrative full-time positions that the superintendent's not doing one job. Superintendent's doing 6 jobs.
Oh,
So,
Well,
no,
okay, then.
this
Well,
is,
you're getting
this has
paid for it
been
then.
pretty out of control
What are you
on
getting
many,
paid for
many
it?
levels. And we've been trying for years to be able to have this position in. This seemed like a year that we really need to actually take it seriously.
and it's also to my understanding that he has his name in somewhere else
Yeah,
for another position.
yeah. You've been with us 11 years. Most superintendents in the state don't stay anywhere near that long.
Well, then maybe.
Well, making
he should go.
200 grand a year is pretty good incentive to stay right where you're at.
Yes.
But can you imagine if you were applying for 2 superintendent positions? 2 positions open in 2 different school districts. One school district had a facilities director, a curriculum director, a communications director. And one school district expected that new superintendent to do all of those positions. Which job would you take?
I'd probably take this
We're-
one.
We're just doing the math. We're doing the math, we're seeing that what we have is not sustainable. Now,
Well, that's,
there are so many areas of this, $34 million, that
Yeah.
are not sustainable.
you
That it's
got
on 2
you got 3
towns.
schools, 3
It's
buildings.
not sustainable. There's fact here. What the state is doing, pitting every single person against each other, pitting schools against each other now, pitting unions and teachers against non-union teachers.
I can,
They're
you know,
putting- to me,
ugly-
they're putting
ugly things
communities
happening.
against each other.
Can I add something else too, which I think is important? Pitting adults against kids
Yeah.
and insulting the intelligence of children.
I'm not.
To me, no,
I'm
not you,
Okay.
I'm speaking to this gentleman here, and he can have his opinion, that's fine if he thinks that way. I have a I'm talking, I have a different opinion about the kids and the performance of our schools. You have the right, if that, to go around insulting the intelligence of the children in our community. I choose not to.
I see.
That's, again, you have the right to insult the
I'm not
intelligence.
insulting them, I'm
No,
stating
that-
facts.
That's an insult.
I'm not insulting them, I'm stating a fact. It's a fact.
And
It's
I've
not
said-
an insult.
I've said what I have to say. You can continue to have that opinion. It's your right.
Go,
I feel
you know what,
otherwise.
look up proficiency on Google for Ringe Jaffrey School System. See what it says. You don't have to go any further than that.
You know, you do, because you always have to look at what those numbers are counting. You can't just look at a number
It's-
and say,
it-
oh, this
you know
number is
what?
24
It
or
spells it all
something.
out. It gives your basic 3, reading, writing, and arithmetic.
I truly wish that you spent the time to look at what the proficiencies actually are measuring. Please do that. You have weeks before the vote. Please, please, please do that research. All right.
But I think in the future, that if they're gonna have those meetings like that, I don't believe that students should be allowed to get up.
And there's no need for students to get up there and speak. I'm sure that they're curious, and they're very curious about the schools, and what they could gain from, speaking, or what they could, or possibly lose, But to me, they're not taxpayers. And it's the taxpayers that are making these decisions, not these kids. The kids aren't voting. So to me, I don't believe that they should be able to get up there and speak.
You can fix that.
Excuse me?
You can fix that. You personally can fix that.
I can fix that.
Yes, you can. When the moderator presents his rules,
Yeah.
all right, one of the issues he addresses is who can speak.
I heard it. I did
Now-
hear that.
Now, he asked the legislative body to accept his decision. The legislative body can overrule him at any time. All you have to do is get up to that mic and say, point of order, I don't think kids should be allowed to speak. And then let the legislative body decide. That's all you have to do.
You can do something even before that, though. So the school board moderator is elected every year. So on March 10th, Bob Schauman put his name in again, I believe. And
Yeah.
nobody else ever does. And that
He's
really
running
is
out
an
of votes,
issue, that
I
we
think.
have so many people not even bothering to put their name down to fight for these things and to actually commit to being on these boards and doing these jobs. So he's the only person I've seen in decades putting his name down. So maybe the vote is March 10th. His name will be on the ballot. It's elected every year. You can decide that then. But I would really love to see more people who have an opinion put their name down to actually do these jobs too.
Yeah, if we did have, if we did have.
All right.
But I just find it's just, it's almost like the message got out in Jaffrey, like the message got out in Ringe last year to make this vote go through, and then last year's not go through, the way I.
But you understand, like you're talking to us about it, and I think we probably agree with that, but we're the school board, we're not the legislative body. The moderator runs the meeting, we come with our like, we work for months, right? This is the way I look at it as a school board member, right? We work for months and develop our recommendation. By the time, or, the public also has a chance to add these petition articles, right? So we're working, the public is working. By the time it gets to that meeting, it's up to the legislative body what happens. You know what? Every year, some people leave happy, some people leave angry. But that's the legislative body. There's the idea to blame the school board for, how the legislative body conducts themselves at a meeting. I think that's unfair, personally, because you need to understand the process better. I don't know what I personally could have done other than put, hundreds of hours in developing the budget. At that point, it's over to the public. What people say, how they conduct themselves, that's up to the legislative body, how they vote.
Can I just
That's
make
it. That's how the meeting works.
Can I make a comment? Kathy Kozlowski from Ringe. And I just want to share with you that from when the budget was cut last year, what that did to the community was very, very sad.
Well, if certain people weren't so vindictive, those things wouldn't have happened.
That's right. That's right. And what kind of a message went out to our kids that saw that happen? So I took it upon myself. I wanted to learn more. I've been going to school board meetings, which either one of you could do. If you don't want to go to the meeting, you have the option to watch on Zoom. And I've learned how hard this board has worked. There's a new member on the board from last year who I think had an idea of what she wanted to do in becoming a school board member. If she has said once, she has said, I don't know how many times, there is no fluff in this budget. She has learned so much about what this board does. They're property owners too. Maybe not Jaffrey Ringe, but they feel it too. So I would just like to say, try to give more time to listen to the actual happenings, not what's being said out in the community. You need to really make your own personal decision to get involved and learn. It's not going to get better until the state does better. So we just have to try and do the best we can do on this end. And it's for the kids. And on one hand, I can understand what you're saying, but I'll tell about having the kids speak. I certainly didn't feel that they were pawns. I was so proud of the girl that sang and the two kids that spoke. I was amazed for 8th graders.
Well, I'm proud of a child getting up
But
and
that
singing.
speaks of
But
what's
speaking
happening
of-
in the school.
I don't think it's necessary.
That's a personal,
That's right.
Absolutely,
It's my own personal thing.
absolutely. But I think the number that came out for the deliberative session spoke to people realizing the importance of what needs to be done for the kids in supporting the budget. Everyone seems to forget, wait a minute.
Yep.
Everyone seems to forget using that emergency fund last year so the kids could have their sports and the other programs that were put back. It was a one-time. So to have all of that this year, that money had to become part of the budget.
And we actually, if you look at that, we didn't put everything back at all. In fact, a lot of it.
1.2 million in personnel cuts are still gone. Those people,
Yeah.
those positions are no longer in
One
existence.
thing that really grieved me, the loss of, was for years, because I used to work in this district years ago, and my kids came through the district, but for years, we had a very active summer program with, I think, up to 200 kids coming every week through the summer, up through the previous summer. 200 kids using the schools, doing remedial work, doing bridge work to make sure that their reading and math skills at least trying to stay consistent, keeping the community together, keeping the kids with their friends, giving parents a little bit of a break, feeding them. It was incredible. That was cut with that $3 million cut. What they found, which killed me, and nobody really talked about this, but boy, do I think about it. The principals did the data work after all these cuts happened, and we talk a lot about the middle high school, especially because of sports. At the elementary level, many things were cut too. The elementary level is where those kids come in. It's a program for them. And the principal here came to the meeting, I think it was in September, and all of these are on video. Like, you can watch all of them. They're all dated and stuff. But she said, we did the math. We looked at the assessment numbers. And we found that the assessments, because the kids for those tests for the state are a one-day test. We do assessments in the schools. We pay for a national testing that they do quarterly or trimesters or something.
3 times.
But so that the kids can see progress year to year to year, month to month to month, right? And we did a whole session on that, the presentations. The principal came and said, we looked at last spring and we looked at this fall, and we did not see the bridge. We did not see those big gaps everybody talks about. And so we're going to completely cut the summer program, and we're not going to have it because we're not going to try to get it back, because even though, yes, it served the community immensely and the kids loved it and it was amazing for everybody, the point of it was to make sure the kids didn't have that reading and math gap. The assessment showed they didn't anyway. So that's not in the budget. That's not at all in the budget. And it's really frustrating to me because of the good that did. But they're taking test scores and saying, we're not going to do this. So there's a lot of things we're not putting back. Every single thing was looked at. Every single thing continues to be scrutinized because we are about to face a possible $1.5 million cut. March 10th is going to be devastating if it goes that direction. And everything's back on the table again. But all of this information is videotaped. It's all there. All the numbers are there. Please educate yourselves before March 10th.
Let me ask you this. Have any of you really sat down and can't come up with a reason why the student population is in such a decline?
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely. Because the state has done that.
No,
They're
the state
spending-
hasn't done that.
Yeah.
And
Because it's
You
this,
can blame-
because
you
this
can
is a.
blame everything on the
No,
state.
I'm not, no, hear me for a second, because you asked a good question. So this is not a uncommon thing, and if you look at our numbers, the drops are not out of line with birth, death, and migration rates. And I will tell you, in this district, okay, so I will give you, because I really want to have this conversation. So I work at the Monadnock School District, specifically in Swansea, okay? So in Swansea, you've heard of adequacy funding.
Yep.
Okay, the adequacy funding is that $900,000 that the state said we don't need that much at all. So they cut us hugely because the adequacy funding is based solely on student enrollment and property taxes. Now, here, as you know, our property taxes and our assessment, our property assessment, not taxes. Thank you, Chris, for not stopping me. All right, you were about to. You're good. All right, so assessment. So our property assessments in Jaffrey and Ringe went off the charts. In Ringe, if you look on Zillow right now, you will find at least 35 houses that are over $500,000. You will find 0 apartments. Same in Jaffrey. No, we did not do workforce housing. We built very expensive homes. I'm going to give you this example. I work in Swansea. At the Monadnock District, we got over $1 million just in Swansea in adequacy aid added. Over $1 million was added in Swansea at Monadnock District. We have the same type of population. There might be 200 more kids in there. Same decreasing population out of this. The thing is that in Swansea alone, and there's 7 towns it's split between, in Swansea, they had 34 kids added to one school this fall. A grade 3 through 6 school added 34 students because Swansea built workforce housing. Those are the numbers the states are looking at. So it's, how can you say our numbers don't reflect our population, our housing, our planning board, our zoning, everything is tied together.
I have a friend that's got 13 kids. Every one of them are homeschooled because he doesn't trust the school and the indoctrination program that they're offering.
Okay, so
Absolutely will not send his kids to
that-
this school district.
I homeschooled for 11 years. That is our prerogative. That is a gift that we have in New
That's
Hampshire.
why you're, the
But
indoctrination.
let me ask
the-
you, but
the
let me ask you, because you
indoctrination
asked 2
side-
questions. Hang on, you asked 2 things there. You're saying 2 things there. Did he remove 13 kids from our school district?
Yep.
Did his kids go to our schools and he took them out? Because our numbers don't show that kind of a decrease.
He never
Our
said.
numbers show the same decrease as
He never
every
said.
other
And
And
city.
we're aware, right? We're all live in Ringe. We know that there's a large population of people that don't send their kids to
Yeah.
public schools. We know that's, we know that is for a lot of different reasons, and, I mean, it's always been, right, part of Ringe. I don't think you can deny that, right? That there's a large population that, you know, and we totally respect that. That's every parent's choice of how to educate their kids.
Between
We need to,
homeschooling.
yeah, I understand. We, as a board, need to meet the requirements set by the state. We, as a board, need to meet the educational requirements set by the state,
Sounds like it's a pretty low bar.
period. And again, you know, you're very much entitled to your opinion. I have the opposite opinion. I think our schools and our kids are doing great results for those who, the opportunity is there for those who want it.
Again, I
And we
think
do
it,
have those good
I
results.
think it depends on the teachers they get. It makes all the difference in the world, because I know when I was going to school, which was a million years ago,
And when was that, if you don't mind me asking?
60s to 70s.
So,
Only until I went to a vocational technical school.
yeah, we
Yeah.
tried that too, but the.
I understand, but
we-
what
we
I-
tr- We
what-
were very, very much in favor of.
I
of
get it, but what-
Expanding our technical, and the
I-
community came out against that.
Yeah,
and we
because
dropped
it was a half-assed Band-Aid to try and get that
Are we still
in.
talking about the,
Oh, no,
it's
oh,
getting-
no,
budget.
but I think, yeah, we're good. All right, so I think we've said our piece. I really appreciate you guys coming. I really, really ask you to please take a look at some of these presentations that we have on our website, school board agenda minutes. Please look through those presentations. There's one for like market assessments, there's the accreditation process we had to go through, which was exhaustive, you know, these things aren't made up. Please do your research. I really, and please keep this conversation open, okay? Please don't shut down. All right, I really want to thank you
I
guys
just
for
think
coming
this
out.
whole thing is slanted.
Please,
really do.
please do your research, please.
I don't think the
All right, are we good?
majority
Close
of
the hearing?
the Ringe
Yeah.
residents are being represented very well. You're just gonna tax us all out of our houses. That's all you're gonna do.
I hope you have the opportunity to speak to your other elected officials and let them understand how upset you are with the way public schools are funded in the state.
Oh, I do. I give it to Quayle all the time.
Wonderful.
Show me a politician.
Oh, good job.
Show me a politician, I'll show you a liar and a thief.
All right, I really appreciate you guys coming up. Kathy, thank you for your help with that. All right, we good? All right, so our next board meeting is March 2nd.